So good morning everyone. Good morning Mama Asin. For today's video, I will be reporting our chosen story, which is Enamora no He by Shinizu Nakai, a Japan true story. The author's background: Shinizu Nakai was a practicing teacher in Nanbu Elementary, one of the neighboring town of Goryo Hamaguchi's village. Nakai was not the original author of the story. He retells the true story that occurs in Japan in a language that children can understand. Later, Sarah Combs, Bryant, and Lafcadio Hearn translated the story in English. The historical background: Enamora no He means fire on rice chips. In the story of a man who noticed a precursor of a tsunami at the earliest stage and lead village inhabitants to a high ground by burning her harvested rice chips. The tale is based on a large tsunami that occurred after the Great Ansai earthquake on 1854. Goryu Hamagoshan in Haragana in Wakayama Prefecture sacrificed his personal properties to save his people of his village, which claimed around 3,000 lives in coastal areas of western Japan. So let's start the story. Long ago, there was a village along the shores of Wakayama Prefecture. In this village lived a man in a house in a hill that overlooked the ocean. One summer's eve, the village held a festival, and the local shrines were filled with people celebrating. Eager to join the festivals, the man changed into his exquisite kimono. As he was changing, however, he suddenly felt the earth shakes fluently. He remembered words of advice from the village elders. After a long earthquake comes a tsunami. He immediately turned to scan the sea below. He saw the water recoiling fiercely to form a towering wave. "Oh no! A fearsome tsunami is coming," he said, quickly setting fire to torch and rushing toward the shrines where the festival was going on. As he ran, though, he realized he would never be able to make it in time to warn the other villagers. He had an idea. He would set a fire to the piles of rice sheaves that had been harvested and use those as a signal. However, the man knew it wasn't right to set fire to someone else's rice sheaves. So, he returned to his home and set fire to the ones in his yard instead. The rice sheaves were soon ablaze and smoke poured forth. The villagers who had been wrapped up in the festival suddenly took notice. Thinking a fire had started, they rushed to the scene to put it out. When his fellow villagers arrived, the man yelled, "A tsunami is coming! Head for the hills." Everyone frantically raced to the shelters of mountains. Just as they clambered to safety, a giant tsunami engulfed the village. Fortunately, everyone was spared. From the bottom of their hearts, the villagers thanked the man who had sacrificed his own valuable rice sheaves to protect the village. The man then worked with the villagers to create a long, tall embankment so that such a thing would never happen again. The elements of the short story. Character: Goryo Hamaguchi portrays the farmer who lives uphill who owns a rice field which he burns to save the villagers. Setting: the setting was and the story takes place in West Japan on 1854. The conflict of the story: It was man versus nature. Since Tamagotchi has to burn his rice field to save the villagers from the wrath of tsunami. Theme: kindness and sacrifice. It is Hagotchi's innate kindness that he burned his rice field to save the villagers from the upcoming tsunami. Instead of burning other rice field, even if he lost if even if he will lost everything he had. Another theme for this story is unity and common good. Upholding common good was the found in the story where people of the village unites to bring water uphill in an aim to put out the fire. This virtue of common good eventually helps people save their lives. The genre or the form, it was a non-fiction story, was based on a real history of Japan with real existing person, and the events actually happens, not just based on mere imagination of the author. Analysis of the story. The analysis of the story is being human is given, but humanity is a choice. The story fire in Rice Chiefs centers on sacrifice. It only not focuses on simple sacrifice, but sacrificing everything even if it means losing everything too. That even a simple act of kindness means everything to someone. Hamagochi didn't hesitate to take everything he had to save the villagers from the tsunami. He has a choice whether not to meddle with the cruelty of fate, but he still chose to give his best. He's all had he's all that he had to save lives, even though these people has nothing to do with them. His act is a great virtue to uphold the essence of humanity. Aside from that, the story highlights a significance of unity and cooperation. This sense of common good to people and shows the importance of unity and cooperation in times of danger. And this value had eventually saved their lives from the uncontrolled catastrophe. And that will be all. Thank you.